Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Annalise and I just started making houseplant content here on YouTube a few weeks ago. So if you're new here, which you probably are, definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to see more planty content. And if you can, a like or a comment would go a long way in helping get my channel out there. I'm super excited for this video. I'm doing my first ever plant shop with me at the Urban Garden Center in Harlem. I've never actually been there before, so I'm super excited to see what their plant collection looks like and hopefully pick up a few new plant babies. So let's head to the store. So unfortunately, I did have to do a voiceover. I could not record sound when I was there because the entire garden center was under the Metro North train tracks, so it was super loud. But just coming in here, you can see there were a bunch of caladiums. I thought this pink one was absolutely gorgeous. And I know caladiums are really in right now. As we're getting into the summer season, people are really enjoying them. So here is a really big palm. It didn't look the absolute healthiest, but it was really large and could make a great statement plant. This was my favorite caladium here, this white one. I loved how prominent and striking the green veining was. I was trying to find a price on the caladiums, but unfortunately you'll see that's a theme throughout the video. None of the plants had any prices on them. I had to ask for every single price that I wanted for a plant. So up here were a bunch of different ivy baskets. I just thought the coloring on these ivies were so beautiful. As you know, if you watched my favorites video, I do love my ivy plant. Here was a large selection of herbs they had. All of them were only $5. I've never been a big fan of planting herbs, but if you're thinking about creating an herb garden for summer, they seem to have really good deals at the Urban Garden Center. Next up looked kind of like an alocasia or colocasia, but the tag did not have a specific label. There was a very large fiddle leaf fig, some philodendron, I think maybe lickety split or philodendron hope, I can never really tell them apart, but it was a really beautiful, healthy looking plant. Look at that new leaf, so shiny and beautiful. And they had quite a few of those big baskets. I'm not sure how much they were, but they were really pretty. So moving along, they had a lot of different plants I didn't recognize. I think they were kind of in the herb family. Here was a large fruit tree of some sort. Not entirely sure what type of fruit it would bear. Some more outdoor looking plants over in this corner. So I really think if you're doing an outdoor garden, if you want fruit, herbs, flowers, they really have a large selection of all of that stuff. So moving along, they had a lot of planters. I was really into this one. It was a thick, heavy, maybe clay material, and it was really long. I was thinking that could be really good for maybe a crawling plant that you needed a long pot for. So this was a cute fiddle leaf fig. I've been wanting one of these for a while, and this one did look pretty healthy, so I was actively considering it. And again, here were some more planters. Those were a pretty good size. Now I absolutely love these little terracotta planters. I'm really into terracotta pots that don't look like the traditional shape, and these definitely fit that mold. You can see just how cute the little shape there is. They also had an awesome selection of trellises. They had some really, really large ones. I feel like this would be great for a project where you mount the trellis onto a wall and then you have plants growing up it. They also had some really cool plant stands. You can see here, these would all hold 3, 4, 5 plants. So those would definitely be great for in front of a window to maximize space or in a plant room or something like that. Next up, we saw this massive Ficus Audrey. I have never ever seen one this big. It had a huge branch coming out of it and the leaves were so full. As you can see, there was tons of new growth points. I couldn't even count how many growth points there were on it. So that was just an absolutely beautiful plant. This was a jungle boogie. I absolutely loved this plant and did fall in love with it and want to buy it, but it was a little bit out of my price range, which I'll talk about later. But I love how it was staked with a wood pole in the middle, and it was just such a full and lush plant. Here's an alocasia. That new leaf is absolutely gorgeous. And here were some more pots, a little bit more decorative, but some cool patterns if you're into patterned pots. I wasn't entirely sure what type of plant this was. Maybe some sort of massive jade plant or something like that. I'm not positive. Here were some more planters. They really had planters scattered around the whole store. This is a really cool wood planter. We did actually end up getting this. I forgot to show it in my haul because my boyfriend purchased it, but we're gonna hopefully put something that looks really cool in there. So as you can see, there really are a lot of different type of planters, a lot of clay and ceramic and terracotta ones, and then some glossy ones. Here was another one of those philodendron lickety splits or hope, forget what they're called, but again, looking super, super healthy. Here was some other type of alocasia, and you can see this leaf is actually massive. I put my hand up for size comparison. This was another really beautiful plant. I'm not sure what it's called. I've never really seen it, but look at the new leaf on this bird of paradise. It's so beautiful, shiny neon green, and here's a really massive bird of paradise with a really large palm next to it. So if you want a large standing floor plant, this might be the place to go. I thought this was really cute, this little pigeon roaming around the plant store. So then moving along, they had this cute little area that we're about to go into that had Urban Garden Center sign at the top. And when you go in, it was basically all palms inside, but I just thought it was very serene in here, very beautiful. And as you can see, they did have a really wide selection of palms. Here were some more large fiddle leaves, looking pretty healthy. Some really large snake plants. I did really like that lemon lime Dracaena. I think it's super beautiful. I love how bright the leaves are, and it looked very healthy. Here's another Ficus Audrey, looking very beautiful. And another one of these themed philodendrons. Here's a Dracaena. I thought this one was cool because it had some pink on the leaves, which is a little bit unique. And some sort of bushy tree. Here again is some more planters, a lot of terracotta. I'm really into the odd shaped terracotta, so I contemplated getting some of these ones, but I have so many pots stockpiled in my house, I decided today was not the day to buy more planters. These were beautiful as well. I'm not entirely sure what kind of plant this was, but very beautiful. I did really like these planters with the leg. I love kind of planters that are also stands, just so you can get your plants up off the ground, add some visual interest to the space. Here was a tiny little ivy plant that I thought was super cute. I tried to find the price, but I couldn't. Some snake plants. There's a Calathea orbifolia, some peperomia. I see some frost in there, a couple of different types of peperomia in that bin. All of them looking really healthy. So really large selection of tall snake plants. If you want kind of a statement piece for your house, for a low light area, a snake plant would be perfect for that. Here's a Monstera deliciosa. I didn't see actually many of them that were this size at this place, but that was a really healthy one. There's some cactus. This I thought was super cool. This is a Hoya, I think carnosa, and it's just climbing up a wood pole. I feel like you never usually see them like this. More often they're in hanging baskets and things like that. Here was a really beautiful begonia. I loved the coloring of it. There I go, looking for a price again, but they don't have it. Some more cute pastel colored planters. I thought these were really fun if you're into colorful planters. Now this was a philodendron. I'm not entirely sure what type. It was absolutely beautiful. As you can see, it was so full, it looked almost like a tree. Here's a Stromanthe Trio Star. I did think this plant was really beautiful with those deep red backs of the leaves, but I know they crisp really easily, so I decided to pass on that one. And some more alocasia. Up here were some hanging baskets of goldfish plants and a couple more caladium and an ivy on a pole. So those plants were all in the outdoor section, and then they had this greenhouse that was inside of the garden center, and that housed most of their indoor house plants. So that's where we're in right now. You can see the roof of the greenhouse there. So first up, they had some Ficus tenekis there, some philodendron Birkin looking pretty healthy, a bunch of peperomia. There's watermelon peperomia. There is some sort of ripple peperomia. I don't think it's an emerald ripple. I forget the name of that one. There's an emerald ripple peperomia, but they all looked really, really healthy. I thought that one was so cute. That was definitely on my maybe list of what I was going to purchase. Down here, there were some aluminum plants, also looking very, very healthy. Moving up, I think this is a Ruby Cascade. It was a really beautiful trailing basket that would look really nice hanging in a window. Down here was a big Schefflera plant that looked really beautiful. Here were some aloes. I was really taken aback by this aloe. I've never seen one with that wavy leaf texture and the white coloring on the leaves. There were some mounted staghorn ferns, a really cool statement piece for your wall. And then there was actually a massive selection of air plants. I'm not super into air plants, but if you are, they definitely had a bunch. I thought these were really cool. These are the typical kind of grocery store anthurium you see, but they had really massive flowers. Here's some Tradescantia zebrina, a bunch of peace lilies. They had a huge selection of peace lilies, which are a great plant, especially for beginners in my opinion. They did have a nice orchid selection. I still haven't gotten into orchids, but these did tempt me. I thought they were really beautiful, especially those kind of pinkish orange ones up front. Here's some heartleaf philodendron or philodendron heteroecium. Some more planters. I like this hanging planter, a little bit more unique than your traditional, planter in some macrame. Up here were some hanging baskets of ferns. I can't keep a fern alive ever, so that was a no for me. But they did look really beautiful in this greenhouse, and if you can keep them alive, why not? Here were some more massive fiddle leaf. And as you can see up here in a hanging basket, there was I think a rickrack cactus in some nice baskets and some hanging baskets of watermelon peperomia. Here was also a hanging basket of a narrow form Monstera adansonii and another decently sized Monstera that looked pretty healthy and nice. So moving over to this side, the star of the show were some pink princesses. I did not get a price on these, but they did have quite a few there. They weren't the most pink ones I've ever seen, but some of them did have a decent amount of pink. There was some oxalis there, a money tree. Sorry for all of these swinging the camera back and forth. There were so many plants on every side of me. I was trying to get them all in frame, but I'll try to be less chaotic with it next time I do a shop with me. Here is some more peperomia. I think that's a peperomia ginny right there. I thought this one was really unique because I've never seen a peperomia, I think a fusifolia, with that kind of variegation. Here were some beautiful cacti. I'm forgetting the name of it, but I think they were so beautiful, so unique. You really don't see cacti like this. And it was a decent size in a hanging basket, and they had a few of them. There's a Pilea peperomioides, some more Monstera, and some really cute little cacti back there. Down here were some succulents. These were some baby Monsteras that they had. I thought these cactuses were super cool looking. Look at the variegation on them. They were white with kind of like these green lines on them. Those were some syngonium, some more cactus and money trees here. This one was super beautiful. I'm not sure what type of plant it is. If you do know, please comment down below, but I loved the kind of leopard print that it had on it. Here was another beautiful hanging basket, a really massive one. Next to it was a pothos of some sort. And then over here was the succulent and cactus area. So there are quite a lot of options if you're into succulent and cactus. I'm not super into them. I only have a couple now, but this seemed like a pretty wide array of plants to me. I did want to get this really massive cactus. I thought that'd be a really cool statement piece, but with 2 dogs in my house right now, it just did not seem like the best option. It'd be too difficult to keep it out of their hands. There was an Aglaonema Silver Bay. I have one and I absolutely love it. There was some other Aglaonema there, and you saw a Calathea macleana. Here were some Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, some more Aglaonema. These were really beautiful, and some parlor palm there. And then some more cacti. Oh, there's a burrow's tail succulent. Those were super cute. And then I just wanted to show that they had a huge selection of terracotta pots. So definitely something to pick up while you're there. Here was a nice sized ZZ plant, also looking pretty healthy. Another big snake plant over there you can see. They also had some little snake plants if you want just a mini one, and some more even larger ZZ plants down here looking really good. So this was the outdoor area. I just wanted to show how many different perennials they had. These were all more outdoor plants. I didn't go through them because I really don't know anything about them, but there was a huge selection of outdoor plants. And then my favorite part is you can see behind this tray of outdoor plants is a little farm area, and there's actually a chicken there, and there's another one that you can see coming from behind the trash bag. There it is. And they had a hilarious sign that you can see here. So I just got back from the plant store and I wanted to show you guys the 2 plants that I picked up. I'm super excited about them. First, I got this parallel peperomia. I forget the scientific name of it, but I'll put it on the screen. I think this one was $12. I just thought it was so cute. I've been eyeing these for a while. I just love the patterning on the leaves, and the stems are super red, so super cute colors and a very cool plant. I might potentially cut it and propagate it to make it a slightly fuller pot, but I don't know yet. We're gonna let it acclimate first before doing anything like that. And then the second plant I picked up, I threw it in a cover pot just for now, is this beautiful philodendron. I wasn't actually sure what type it was, so I asked on Instagram, and a friend there told me that it looks like a philodendron deja vu. Has a super cool leaf shape, and this was actually a pretty good sized plant. I think it's in a 6-inch pot, and this was only $20. So I felt like that was a pretty good deal, and I'm really excited about this one. So for my overall impressions of Urban Garden Center, I did really like it. I noticed they had a large selection of perennials and herbs. So if you're into outdoor gardening, it seemed like that could be a good place to go. I think most of their perennials were only about $7.50, which I haven't done any outdoor gardening, but that seems like a good price to me. And then if you're planning on making an herb garden or that's something you're interested in, they did have a large selection of herbs there for I think about $5 per pot. They did have a decent indoor houseplant selection. They didn't have a ton of rare plants. The only really rare, not botanically rare, but hard to find in stores plant that I saw was a pink princess. They had a selection of pink princesses I think you saw in the footage, but I did not get the price of those because there were no prices on any of the plants. That was definitely a critique I had. Anytime you wanted to get the price of a plant, you had to pick it up and go ask the store owner or store employee, and it did feel a bit of the time like they were just coming up with the prices randomly. I did notice that some of their prices were pretty steep. The 2 plants I picked up were a good price, but they did have a lot of plants that felt a little bit overpriced to me. For instance, there was a jungle boogie that I showed earlier in the clip, and we really liked that one. It was a pretty big full plant, but they were charging $235 for it, which felt a little bit overpriced to me for what type of plant it was. Overall, they did have a really good selection of plants, and I definitely want to go back to see how their plant options change throughout the summer and into the fall. So if I do go back, I'll definitely film an updated Shop With Me video there. So if you're in the New York City area, it's definitely a place to check out if you have time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more plant shops with me at various plant shops and nurseries in New York City. There are some really good ones, so definitely something to look forward to. Well, thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.